The National Weather Service says 2025 was the driest year in more than a decade here in the Sunshine State. In Southwest Florida, the extreme drought conditions are the worst since 2001. Take a look at these images of fire from this week in DeSoto County, with smoke billowing from the acres of dry land. WGCU's senior environmental reporter Tom Bayles says fire officials are bracing for what could be one of the worst wildfire seasons ever.
One of the key elements for working together is reducing risk and improving safety throughout Collier County.
With a year-long drought still gripping Southwest Florida, there is little doubt that wildfires are in the region's near future. Unknown is how big the forest fires will get, and if any homes or lives will be lost as the region enters the state's dry season, already parched.
We're anticipating that we're going to see an early and more active than regular brush fire season in the upcoming year. This is mostly due to the current weather pattern and the significant drought that we are experiencing.
That was Chris Wolf, chief of the Naples Fire District, at the airport to talk about the coordinated efforts surrounded by the special equipment firefighters use to put down wildfires. The helicopters that police pilots use to drop huge buckets of water. The bladed tractors that cut fire lines 3 feet into the ground, right in front of an advancing wildfire, by Florida forest rangers like Jesse Lavender.
We're in a significant drought, depending on if you're in Collier County, and if we're speaking to that, even the little bit of rain we received today isn't doing anything. We need feet of rain.
WGCU senior environmental reporter Tom Bayles joins us now. He has produced nearly 24 stories since the beginning of last year on the drought and the growing wildfire threat. And 2 weeks ago, you published a story that also talked about the dangers, indicating that pine trees are now like standing matchsticks because this threat is so severe. Can you tell us more about the significance of the threat?
Yeah, the wildfire threat's very significant in Florida right now, especially Southwest Florida. The 6 agencies that came together last month in Naples, that's not common. They came together for Wildfire Awareness Day, from Florida Forest Service to Northport and the agencies in Southwest Florida, which are the driest part of the state and have been that way for about a year.
So 6 agencies came together to warn everybody. It's that significant.
Yes, and that does not happen every day. The threat has been since the drought started gripping Southwest Florida in February of last year. And even last year's rainy season, it was anemic. It didn't drop enough rain. We didn't have any hurricanes. Fort Myers alone was 12 inches below its normal amount of its normal amount of rainfall for the summer. So that drought has continued and just gotten worse until now, where our numbers for the dryness of the wilderness and pine trees like matchsticks is high.
Well, you mentioned that we all know when hurricane season is, but when does wildfire season start?
Wildfire season usually begins about now and normally runs until summer rainy season gets going. But of course, last year there was not much of one. And the months of June and July can sometimes be the worst because maybe the rain's a little delayed. That happened in the late 90s. There was a horrific wildfire season in more northern Florida during that year. Here, it seems like they're more concerned about wildfires happening in the next few months. In fact, there was a wildfire just 2 days ago that shut down the northbound lanes of Interstate 75 up in Northport.
We have local firefighters that are sounding the alarm. Is anyone else?
Yes, we've actually gotten national attention pointed right at Southwest Florida. The National Interagency Fire Center in Boise, Idaho has issued alerts for us, as has AccuWeather, the private weather forecasting firm based in Pennsylvania. They've said, hey, Southeast, look out.
What can we do as homeowners, as citizens in Southwest Florida, to help as much as we can?
Well, if you live in one of the woodsy subdivisions, I call them, ones built into the woods, a little more inland, you need to build a defensible space around your house, and that is a 30 or 40-foot buffer where nothing can burn. And we're talking not just wood piles or propane tanks, but you might even think of a wooden fence around your house that can act like a wick and bring the wildfire from the woods straight to your house. You need to clear your gutters of leaves. You need to make sure that there's a screen over your chimney if you have one. And for those who don't live in the woods and just want general wildfire tips on what to do if one breaks out, the Florida Forest Service has a great website called Be Wildfire Ready, and anybody online can look that up.
And Tom, you have been covering the environmental stories for at least 25 years in Southwest Florida, and you've had an expertise in wildfires and drought. What is your opinion on how this season compares to what you've seen in the past 2 decades?
I think that's probably indicative by the amount of attention that we've given the drought last year and the wildfire season upcoming this year, with the amount of stories that we've done online, on the radio and on TV here at WGCU. The wildfire threat this year is way above normal, and I expect to see wildfires, and what I hope is none will burn down any houses. Certainly there'll be no injuries or deaths, but past seasons have shown us that when it gets this bad, we can expect some bad things to happen.
Well, thank you for the information and your expertise and your knowledge on this. Much appreciated. Thank you, Tom. To stay ahead of brush fire season, you can head to the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services website. There is a list of available resources to help you prepare for the wildfire season. Thanks for watching. We've got more great content for you, from the news to the arts to the environment. So be sure to like and subscribe to WGCU's YouTube channel and follow us on all of the social media platforms for the stories that matter to you.